So this advice is for both men and women with how to write your dating bio. A little context again, I'm a matchmaker. I spent 30 years of my career in having discussions about what men and women want when it comes to dating. Now, when it comes to your dating bio, depending on the site that you're using, whether it's a dating app, whether it is a site like Match.com or eHarmony, where you have an opportunity to write a longer form description, it's really important that your bio does a few things. Now, your profile photo, again, is meant to attract them to at least be curious about you. Now that they are curious about you, you want to maintain that curiosity. And you also want to have that consistency in what your photo says about you to what your bio is going to share about who you are in terms of your personality, your lifestyle, and also what you're looking for. Whenever I read a dating bio, I have to say that the key ingredient for success in a lot of dating bios is that you come off as unique. You want to avoid those cliches. And the other thing, it's kind of like picking up a great book and you're reading, a chapter to a book and you just want to read more. It's descriptive. Your bio tells a little bit of a story. There's flavor in there. There's edge. You're describing your personality. You're describing sort of what it's like to be with you. John emphasizes a lot in how your photos are telling a story and how your photos are giving a sense to you about, or to the person who's looking at your photo, who you are. It's emotion, it's a feeling, and it's the same thing when you're writing your dating bio. And the trick to that, of course, is not to list a whole bunch of adjectives, not to write, a lot of lists in terms of I am funny, I like long walks on the beach. You never want to come off as somebody who's telling people who you are by a list of these personality traits or characteristics. Rather, you want to showcase that by sharing a story or giving an example of the kind of person that you are, right? Kind of personality that you have through the statements or through the examples that you're providing in your written bio. Now, we are going to provide some examples of well-written profiles according to like what's actually written online and what we have written for many, many of our clients. A good ingredient to have in your dating bio, of course, is to have humor wherever you can within that. Now, any profile that helps or that creates a smile or has your intended, romantic interest, smirk, kind of get that feeling of excitement or curiosity. That's an ingredient to having a great dating bio is you're creating a little bit of curiosity. You're giving them something to look forward to. You're speaking to the person that you want to attract. So you don't want to have a profile that reads like every other profile. And the trick to describing yourself or sharing a story is, first of all, you've got to write your list of the criteria that you want to share with somebody. Now, even though I'm recommending that you do write a list of your personality traits, I'm not saying that you take that same list that you wrote and you put it on paper or you write it in your bio. The step to that is to write the top 3 things or the top 3 to 5 things that you want someone to know about you or that you'd like them to know about your personality. So let's put this into practice. If I do say that I've got a dry sense of humor, or because again, there's various types of humor. Some people like slapsticks humor. Some people are more, cynical in their humor. And some people just, like dad jokes or whatever category of humor that you like. If you use sarcasm a lot, then rather than saying I'm sarcastic, you actually want to showcase that sarcasm in the statement or in the example that you're going to provide on your profile. If you wanted to say that you have a great sense of humor, and this is actually true about my younger brother, he was voted class clown in his grade 8 graduation. Now, think about that. If you are voted class clown, then you're a little bit goofy. You like to laugh. I think he could have been a professional comedian. And maybe that's a statement that you could say, professional comedian at home, too chicken to go to open mic, right? Or looking forward to my first open mic session to practice my dry sense of humor, right? Hoping I don't get booed at a crowd when I tell one of my dad jokes. Or you actually state a joke in your profile. That's going to give the sense, of course, in your bio that you do have a sense of humor. The other trick to writing a great bio is also, wherever possible, you want to have a sense of the kind of person that you're also looking for. Your dating profile bio should give the person of interest a real sense of who you are. And there should also be somewhere in your bio where you're describing the kind of person you want to meet. And again, you want to avoid those lists. Perhaps one of those examples is, looking forward to my, Instagram photographer. My perfect match has no issues with me posing in front of camera, whatever that looks like, right? Because that sort of implies you like taking photos. Maybe you're active on social media, and that is something that you want someone to know. Somebody who's not active on social media, somebody who doesn't have a social media profile, will likely not take interest in you if that's what you're stating. And that's okay. A lot of people are concerned about turning somebody off or turning too many people off. You cannot turn off the right person, and you can't turn on the wrong person. So it's important that you show up as your authentic self. Along with your bio, you want to be sure that you are indicating some idea of your lifestyle. And by lifestyle, one of the things that really matters for both, men and women is, are you on the same page when it comes to financial stability, when it comes to, let's say economics, finance, right? Lifestyle situation. Are you somebody that's more into, like, there's a big difference between whether your idea of a great first date or great vacation is, camping, like real hardcore camping in the Algonquin, or if you're more of a glamper where, no, you don't do outdoor potty toilets, and you don't, necessarily like bugs or whatever the case is. There is nothing wrong with describing the kind of vacations that you like to go on, the kind of, maybe you don't want to say the kind of car you drive, but if you're trying to get a sense of the fact that you're more of fine dining versus, Taco Tuesday, this is what should go in your dating profile bio. Your bio should absolutely give your romantic person of interest a real sense of who you are. It is not easy to write a dating profile bio, which is why our team asks a set of questions to help you write that dating profile bio. So you'll find that in the homework that's here, the attached documents in how to write a dating profile bio, some of the questions that you should ask yourself, indicating, more of what do you want to share. There are certain things about you that you may not want to share right away. And of course, you want to keep that dating profile bio positive. The last thing that we want to do is turn someone off by writing down a list of all the things we don't want. That is a big bio no, right? There's do's and don'ts in writing a dating profile. A do is definitely stating more of what you want and stating more and showcasing your positive qualities. There's plenty of time for your match to get to know your flaws. And let's face it, we are not perfect human beings. Everyone should know that people are putting their best foot forward, right? It's not like you don't have skeletons in the closet or you don't have things that you're working on. However, if you have an insecurity about something, or there's something you feel it's important to share with someone, whether you're going through a difficult time, whether you're in the middle of a career change, if you are somebody who's dating online with a specific relationship goal, that is also something that I strongly recommend should be in your dating bio, is giving the person a sense for the kind of relationship that you're looking for. If there are many people that are watching this right now that may have differing interests, that have different relationship goals. Some of you might want a casual relationship and simply want to hook up. Nothing wrong with stating that. Some of you are ready to have children, and some of you are more, children are 5 to 10 years away, or you don't want to have kids at all. There are certain important details that you should share on your dating profile, particularly if you're trying to screen people out. That is exactly the point of your dating bio. You are screening people out that you don't want to be messaging you, and you're attracting the people that you want to have message you. A lot of times there's confusion. Why are these people messaging me? Well, did you make it clear in your dating profile bio? Is that something that you did indicate? All right, I'm going to point to some resources now with respect of, ways to optimize your online dating. And according to Statistic Brain, of the 54 million single people in the United States, 49 million of them have tried online dating. So there is a large population of singles that are trying online dating. In fact, you purchased a course to help you, dominate your dating. So this is true, and acknowledge you for being here. So one of the things you can do is, of course, don't overlook writing a little bit about the partner that you're looking for. It is important, again, that the person reading it needs to know, should they be applying, right? If you are somebody who's more outdoorsy and fitness is important, or maybe you have a certain not diet that you're on, or you're vegetarian or you're vegan and that's important to you. Perhaps you have a certain religious affiliation, or you're looking for a specific ethnic type, or whatever it is that's unique to you. These are the things that are appropriate to write down in your dating bio. Something that many people have shared with me, and again, the type of information that I'm sharing, use it to apply to your particular situation. A lot of people want to show their emotional intelligence or their emotional availability. If you are dating online, and if you are wanting to communicate, again, where you're at mentally, where you're at emotionally, this is key for attracting the right partner. If you are working on emotional availability, if you are working on commitment, or whatever those things are, it is okay to indicate whatever you feel is important, authentic, and true. For those who want to attract a life partner, for those who are interested in finding somebody that is for a meaningful long-term relationship, communication is very, very important. How you express your communication, how communicative are you? What is your communication style? Are these things that you can define or that you can showcase? I read a lot on dating profiles. I'm a little bit more of an introvert, or I identify as an extrovert. These are, or an ambivert, right? Like you could be both. And oftentimes you could display or share different kinds of personality traits depending on the mood, depending on the setting. There are a lot of people that have, quote unquote, an alter ego, right? The alter ego is the person or the character that you take on when you're playing certain roles in your life, whether that is a leadership role, whether that is a parenting role, and of course, the role of a partner. What are you like as a partner? Can you describe what an experience would be like for you? What is the perfect day in the life of Carmelia? What is a perfect day in the life of John, in the life of Karen, in the life of the person that you are looking at? That's an example of how you can write a dating profile, because there's many different ways that you can write a dating profile, and it all boils down to your comfort level and what it is that you actually want to communicate. Using words like love, romance, vulnerability, authenticity, words that express emotion, words that show that, beyond just physical criteria, you want to showcase that you have emotional intelligence, that you're not afraid to communicate. Those are profiles that that women and men alike will appreciate, because not everybody wears their heart on their sleeve, right? You definitely want to be strategic in the way that you write your dating profile, for sure. Now, maximizing your online dating success has a lot to do with language, with the words that you're carefully choosing to identify yourself, and also the chronology, kind of the order in which you want to describe yourself on your dating profile bio. I highly recommend that you lead with your who you are. Sort of like if we were looking at websites, where do we go straight? We go straight to the about page. When people are Googling somebody, aside from looking at their profile photo, what are they looking at? They're reading the captions, they're reading the advice, they're getting a sense of tone, of energy, of who this person is. Now, if you're somebody that's not getting a lot of response, you want to look at the words you're writing, the photos that you're posting. Oftentimes, unknowingly, you might be repelling people because of what you're stating. If you've got the kind of profile that doesn't have anything, a big faux pas would be to you to say, just ask me. No, I'm not going to ask you. I'm not even going to ask you on a date unless I know you. I'm not going to ask you on a date unless I can determine there's some level of compatibility here. There's some sense of connection. And so the photos give someone a sense of whether or not they're attracted to you, and should tell a story about your personality or give them some insights to that. John already covered that. Now, but when it comes down to words, people can misinterpret words. People can, take your words and put their own meaning on there. So it's really important that real estate, I call it real estate. Anything on your dating profile is real estate. It's an opportunity for you to utilize every question, to utilize every opportunity that you can to complete your profile. Not completing your profile says a lot about you, whether you like it or not. Writing too much and throwing up all over the profile and saying things like, I don't want to be cheated on, and I don't want this, and I don't want that. Again, important piece of advice is to not write what you don't want. Rather, give an example of what you do want and write in a positive tone. Anything that's written in a negative tone is often more of a turnoff, and will have people swipe left versus swipe right. So that's something that's ultimately really important. Now, writing with grammar in mind is important. Don't take shortcuts when it comes down to your dating profile bio. The other thing is, don't assume that every single person knows the acronyms that you're using. I would always recommend, other than LOL or, LMFAO, things that are common. It's so funny. People who are dating online, a lot of times they're dating online for the first time. And so what could be common language, common acronyms, isn't appropriate to put in your dating profile bio, because you're assuming, again, that this person knows what you're talking about. So wherever possible, you definitely want to use long form, avoid slang, positive language, storytelling. I know it's a lot, okay, which is why it's important that you do some homework before you put that pen to paper, just trying to think about what is it that you should write, what is it that you should say. Okay, so there are a lot of different studies that are out there. There was a new study conducted by the Match Lab, which is also a dating profile writing service, and they revealed their top 7 best dating profile tips. Now, this they said is for men. Okay, so according to this study, men should include more photos of themselves in their dating profile. We've covered that part. You should be unique. How is it that you're going to stand out? And being unique is more about your own special quirks. Nobody knows your situation. Nobody's walked a day in your shoes. And being unique is simply talking about a unique experience that you had, a memory that you had, an accomplishment that you achieved, an embarrassing moment that you're inviting people to read and to participate in and to laugh with you in. It takes a lot of guts to write something that is embarrassing oftentimes, right? Proper spelling and grammar is so important. And men and women are sticklers for this, right? It's not just men that make all the grammatical mistakes. Women can also appear that appears sometimes to those who are dating online as lazy, and it appears to them the effort that you put on your dating bio, the effort that you put on your dating photos, they are going to attach that or related to the effort that you put on anything in your life, the effort that you're going to put in reaching out to them and contacting them, in the dates that you plan, in how you take care of your body. These are all signals, messages. So the words that you're choosing, yes, they're clinging on to those words, especially when they like you. They'll read it over and over again. What does he mean by that? What does she mean by that? It's incredible what people do when you're dating online. So, another advice, as you're writing your bio with intentionality, don't always read someone else's bio and profile and assume that you know everything. If there's clarity that you need, then I would highly recommend that you use that clarity when you're in the conversation. And we're going to talk about that in a different lesson. It's always great when both people, both sexes, can show some vulnerability. In the survey where women were asked, what do they want to see more of? Women do want to see more men showcasing their not feminine side, but their vulnerable side, the opportunity to show emotion, not have to pretend that they got everything covered and they're not afraid of spiders. You know what, guys? My ex husband, terrified of spiders. I thought it was the most hilarious thing because he's like 6 foot at the time. He was 6'2", like a professional judo wrestler and BMX rider and big guy. You'd never think he'd be afraid of anything, but the fact that he was afraid of spiders was quite comical. And if he were to ever do a dating profile, he could say, I'll fight off the burglars, but sorry, I'm leaving you at the spider, right? So if you can poke fun of yourself in a dating profile, that's also a great tip that you can use when it comes down to writing your dating profile. Humor is always great. Flirting, a little flirtation helps, right? A little bit of sassiness, having fun. Again, the point is to impress, to attract, to catch attention. It's similar to, you've done this amazing job with your dating profile pictures. Now you want to take that same effort and apply it to your dating bio. All right. Part of that, as well as having prompts. I always strongly recommend in your bio that there's a question that something, again, in what you're seeking, or who's going to be my next badminton partner, or who is ready to watch the next scary movie. I am not a fan of scary movies, but I know horror film lovers, they talk a lot about it, and I see that on the dating profiles, like about horror films. An example of where you can utilize that is, hey, if you're not a fan of Freddy Krueger, then you and I can't be friends, or we can't date. That could be a way that you can utilize your love of horror to something kind of fun and flirty, and also sassy, to saying, yeah, we can't date if that's the case. Or you can eat cookies in bed if we agree on XYZ, right? So these are the things that can help when you're writing a dating profile. Other things to include, of course, are your interests. The interests that I recommend are bucket list things. It's not things you're already doing, but of course, if you've got a particular hobby, if you've got a particular interest that is super important to you and taking up quite a bit of your time, that's when I would highly recommend that you do use that and you do indicate that in your dating profile bio, because your interests don't define your personality. Don't talk about your life goals or the things that really matter to you. However, interests do add intrigue. Interests allow somebody to ask you a question. And so it's like bait, right? Or baton. Your photo is what got them to read your profile in the first place. And now you want to write content and copy on your dating profile that's going to have them, ask you a question or accept your invitation, accept your challenge, whatever it is that you can come up with creatively is really important when it comes down to writing your dating profile bio. Now, if you're somebody that is watching this and thinking, oh my God, there is just a lot and too much, and you prefer to have one of our experts or myself write your dating profile instead, we also have options for you to choose to work personally with somebody, personally with myself, to help you craft your perfect bio on top of this support as you go along. Because another key important factor to stay relevant, to stay on top, to stay in search is to tweak your profile every now and then. I do recommend that you tweak your profile and your profile photos for the seasons, because seasonally, in some cases where you are getting 4 seasons, in some places it's kind of consistently warm, or for some people, they get consistently like X type of weather. You definitely want to change around your dating profile images because it is seasonal, and you want to post things that are within, my rule of thumb is within 6 months, even 3 months. If you've been dating online and you have the same profile photo and people online can see that, there's some judgment there that, oh my goodness, this person's still there. Whereas if you change your profile photo, they might have to do a double take or may not easily recognize you. So I hope that you take on the advice that we're giving you when it comes to writing a great dating profile bio. Make sure it's complete, share stories, stay positive, have mystery, use humor, and of course, write a little bit about the person that you want to be messaging you back. So we'll see you in the next lesson.